Competitive sports often bring out the ugly inner egos of pro athletes worldwide. With more and more access to watching sports online and on television, fans sometimes catch an athlete who gets a bit ahead of themselves. That's why we're breaking down 20 times athletes celebrated too early.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Number 20. Bat flip. Last May, the Korean League's Lotte Giants fell 6-4 to the last place NC Dinos, which was capped off by an embarrassing at-bat for outfielder John Jun-woo. Remember kids, only flip your bat if you are sure it's out, because you don't want your Willie Mays Hayes moment to live on the internet for an eternity. Number 19. Basketball humiliation. It all goes down in the Croatian Basketball League Championship between Cibona Zagreb and KK Partizan. The report states, after a pair of missed free throws from Partizan, Cibona raced up the court and nailed a three-pointer from the baseline to take a 1-point lead. Although there were still 0.6 seconds left, Cibona celebrated on the court. It would still take a ridiculous shot from that distance to destroy Cibona's moment of victory, but this was definitely a risky early celebration. Number 18. Basketball humiliation part 2. Nick Young threw himself a victory parade after what he thought was a mighty successful three-point attempt. Little did he know, just as he turned around, the ball just tipped the rim and flew out. Number 17. Runaway victory. And really, this video has it all. Amazing feats of athleticism, cheering crowds, a late surge by an unlikely winner, and, of course, one runner who did everything she could but looked back at the right time. The runner, Pertea, said, "I didn't realize what happened as she was running her first major marathon. Probably that was my mistake. I didn't check. I never looked behind. I thought if somebody was coming, everybody would be screaming that somebody was there." She first saw her opponent when the former track racer sprinted past with less than 50 meters to go. She had no time to respond. It's hard to say Pertea should have continued running hard until the finish line, because it seems like she is chugging along as any competitor who is running that many miles would. Really, the only egregious error may have been not checking behind her at the right time, although slapping fans' hands didn't help her cause. Number 16. Olympic bow. Lindsay Jacobellis thought she had the gold medal all wrapped up, with a nice little Olympic bow on top. Fortunately, she had just enough time to pop a little trick before collecting her glory. As we know, that is not how things would end in 2006. It's not even like the small tweak of the board would have added to what really is an amazing honor anyway. There isn't anything you can do to make a gold medal cooler, so finish the race and worry about victory laps later. Number 15. Bat flip, part 2. Apparently flipping bats for non-home runs is something of an epidemic overseas. NC Dino's designated hitter Ho Jun Lee getting a hold of one and flipping his bat like a champion. Thankfully, for comedy's sake, the ball refused to leave the field and was caught at the wall. We are not watching enough Korean League baseball. Number 14. End zone dance fail. Columbia River and Skyview High School enjoyed what has to be one of the more peculiar ends to a football game in recent memory. Well, just one of the schools actually enjoyed the ending. Columbia River has its last-second field goal attempt blocked, but a player picks up the ball and runs it into the end zone. Meanwhile, the opposition is celebrating a win that it didn't quite finish all the way through. Oops. Number 13. Poker flop. For our purposes, we will consider poker players athletes. Dwight Pilgrim sees the flop and does just about everything to celebrate, save actually leaving to take his family and friends to dinner. Despite believing it's all over, the poker player stays and finds out his fate. Turns out, he was celebrating a bit too early. When his opponent saw the last card, he had a straight and won the hand. Number 12. Acting your age. Megan Rutledge presumably never saw footage of Lindsay Jacobellis' blunder, because the motocross racer essentially did the same thing, popping a little trick before completing what really should have been a job well done. She would speak to ESPN about her 2013 X Games miscue. "I was out there leading. I'm really young. I've never led an X Games before. I celebrated a bit too early and made a mistake, unfortunately, which gave Vicky Golden an opening to take first again. It's a hard loss to take, but a great reminder to act like you've been there before. It just may save you from an altogether brutal loss." Number 11. Super Bowl touchdown. When the name Leon Lett comes up, you invariably think of various missteps and sports brain farts. Arguably his best work was allowing the Bills' Don Beebe to run him down during a relatively ho-hum Super Bowl 27. It isn't often that you see a big guy score a touchdown, so it would have been nice if Let would have left the gloating until reaching the end zone. However, we will gladly take what really went down, because that kind of comedy stands the test of time. Number 10. Morrocan soccer fail. Had Khalid Askri ignored that burning desire in his gut to get up and pat his chest in a show of dominance, he might not feature in these types of breakdowns. Thanks to his propensity to watch the crowd over the ball, we get to enjoy this video again and again. It's the sports equivalent of a pint of ice cream on a gloomy day. Number 9. South Korean skater. A Colombian celebrates much too early, and the South Korean skater takes advantage in this race at the World Roller Speed Skating Championships last week in Guarna, Colombia, via a 2010 report. Not that we need much in the way of info, because the entire tale plays out in one unbelievable video. Sadly, this isn't the last time we will see someone lose a race because they just decided to pull up and gloat. Number 8. DeSean Jackson misses the end zone. The Washington Redskins recently acquired a great athlete who has a propensity for being a knucklehead on the field. Presented for your enjoyment are 2 times that DeSean Jackson decided he had run enough and pulled up ahead of the end zone. Too bad football isn't played on 99-yard fields. Just as Jackson reached the end zone, he dropped the ball and the touchdown didn't count. Number 7. Canadian football. Many Americans wouldn't know much about Canadian football, but Canadians know a whole lot about Chris Williams, formerly of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and his big early celebration blunder. Just as he was about to score, he slowed down to gloat and ended up being tackled before he could complete the touchdown. Number 6. Motorcycle race. Ricardo Russo, motorcycle racer, might be an amazing rider, but isn't so great at math. During a major race, Russo stopped 1 lap early, thinking he had won. In an odd twist, we have to say he at least got to enjoy what it feels like to win a race. Of course, that feeling left the second he realized his enormous gaffe. Number 5. Bad race. At the 1994 Goodies 250 NASCAR race, racer Mark Martin thought that he had the race in the bag. Just as he went around the last lap, he was sure he had won and started pulling into his own garage. Meanwhile, his pit crew was trying to wave him on. In the background, you can see all the other cars continue racing by. Mark Martin wouldn't be living this one down anytime soon. Number 4. MMA Fighter. For some MMA fighters, it's obvious who won. For other fights, it can be pretty difficult to see who actually won, since it's all point-based. Clearly, this fighter thought they were the winner. As they jumped around, awaiting the ref to call the match, they didn't realize what was coming. Even the audience members didn't see what was coming. But the ref ended up holding up the arm of her opponent, and she was definitely embarrassed. Number 3. Tennis mishap. During a major tennis tournament, 2 professional players were locked in a pretty epic volley going back and forth. Finally, it seemed that one of the players managed to make a shot that should have been impossible to reach. He jogged off the course and was even pointing to his fans to goad them on. Of course, as he was jogging off, he didn't realize his opponent was still playing. He turned around just in time to see his opponent hit the ball and watch it fly by. All he could do was bury his face in the fence. He clearly wasn't going to live this one down. Number 2. Miracle throw. In a Little League basketball tournament, one team thought they had won the game. But just as the buzzer rings, their opponent takes a risky shot and tosses the ball across the court. The ball goes in, and the team ends up regretting their early celebration. Number 1. Spike. During a major volleyball match, one team went up and managed to lob an impressive spike over the net. It was so impressive they figured there was no way it could be returned. Of course, just as they started huddling up to celebrate, it was clear they had made a big mistake. The ball was returned, and they had to stand there and watch as they lost the point. Of course, not every athlete is celebrating early, but even the best get caught being a little too cocky. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment about a time you celebrated too early playing your favorite sport. This has been 20 times athletes celebrated too early.